My goal is to take a vinyl source, clean it up to where it sounds like it's coming off of a master tape. I want to make sure I get the cleanest possible transfer I can so that I have to do the least amount of work in the computer. So that's make sure it's as clean as it can with the vacuum or the ultrasonic cleaner. All a record vacuum is basically a wet vac. Normally, like when you clean records, you'll do one of these things, like a disc washer, but what this does is you wet the hell out of it. So if there's any crud on there, it lifts up any dirt. Then it vacuums it off. And it does two things. That cleans it, obviously, but also getting it wet gets rid of any sort of static electricity. As much restoration as you can do before it gets in the computer, the better. So this basically just shoots ultrasonic sound waves at it. There's like three or four speakers in there just shooting on both sides, shooting these ultrasonic things at it. And it just dislodges anything in the deepest part of the groove. I also want to choose the needle that will diminish the noise as most I can. And I've got about 20 different needles that I can use. Some will accentuate noise on some records, some will diminish the noise. Then we digitize it, and then I will start cleaning it up. Use the things you've always heard, declickers, decrackles. If you just put a declick on one of these records, you're gonna take away any kind of hi-hat, any sort of transients from drums or cymbals or whatever, it'll just completely obliterate it. So we have a technique where we save that stuff. We can hit it really hard with a declicker if we need to, but we can save those transients and put them back in later so that it's got the snap and it's got everything that you want is there. If it's a crappy pressing or a budget pressing, there's noise in that vinyl that you just can't get rid of by needle choice. It's there. And if you've got like, strings or something, it's really hard to hide that noise. This is punk. The signal to noise is great on this. Try to get it restored as much as I can to where it's like my master tape, and then I will start mastering it. But then sometimes near the end of that, the mastering process will sometimes bring up noises that I didn't hear the first time. So then I have to go back and sort of tweak some of the settings or add a setting at the end. It's that end part where you have to juggle the mastering versus restoration and to combine them. And they can be used for evil purposes too, right? I'm not making Dolby Atmos mixes from this stuff. I'm trying to resuscitate something, a dying patient on the table. So when I'm remastering something or I'm mastering something, I master as if it's going to vinyl first. That's the top tier, because I can keep all my dynamic range there. And I like having those guardrails. There are certain guardrails, they're physical laws that you have to adhere to for it to work on vinyl, that you don't have in digital. I like to master for vinyl, then all my derivatives come from that. All my dynamic range works perfectly for CD. It also works great for streaming, because if your master is super compressed for streaming, you sort of get penalized, it gets turned down. The more dynamic range you have, the better.
I mean, I think always the complaints with this record, it was a little thin sounding and the low end needed to come up.
Oh, good, that's what I did. Hooray! I did the right thing. Yeah, because you want it to have, some meat.
Interesting with this record is one guitar track.
Oh, really?
16-track studio, but you used like 8 or 9 tracks and only used one guitar track and ran that guitar track through a processor, so it had the original, even the source has got reverb on it.
Yeah.
And then when they when they mix it, they even put more reverb on. So it's
there's like a jangle. He's doing like a fast. He's definitely doing it.
This is interesting too with this band is so they're brothers. Kevin and Steve. I saw that.
Brothers,
yeah, right.
Yeah.
So Steve was a bass player, phenomenal bass player.
Yeah.
He wanted to play guitar, so he plays guitar on this. The only record he played in 7 seconds, he plays guitar.
Interesting.
And that's his style. It's really interesting.
Yeah.
Jangly. It's unique. Yeah, this sounds great though, Michael.
All right, good.
If I can clear my mind all the negative shit, all the people who can